I have a little butterflies about it. Yes, I do. Let's see. I'm pulling up my YouTube. There we go. So I can. Oh, it says upcoming. It should be the live. So the topic for today is, if God did everything, what the fuck is the point of you? Like, really, what is the point of being human on this planet? Now, it didn't start with that question. That was not the question that started everything. It was, what is the fucking point of being a human being on this planet? Because, man, how many times have we made ourselves a project to fix over and over and over? Good morning. Over and over. Because we got to figure something out. We got to fix something in ourselves. So I would recycle that question. Now, what started this time was somebody sent me a video, actually, of it's called somebody describing analytical suicidal ideation. Hi, Felicia. And I was like, huh. So I listened to this, and it wasn't about being suicidal. It was about, what's the point of this? And so that sparked it this time for me to go down that rabbit hole of, what's the point? And then it spins off into, I hear a lot of people, not a lot, let's see, that's probably relative. I hear many people give God all the credit. God did everything. It's all up to God, and I owe everything to God. And if it wasn't for God, then I wouldn't be here. And that might be true. That might be a true statement. If, and a lot of this happens in recovery. So people talking about, I owe all the credit to God. I kind of bristle every single time. Now, this is not anti-God about anything. It's not that at all. I'm not talking about theology debating. I'm not any of that. I'm not trying to tell you what to believe. I'm not even questioning your belief. This is where I'm at. This is what showed up for me. And who am I in the equation then? If it's something out there, that's really what it's about for me. If it's something external from me, then there's something out there, pulling the puppet strings. That's where that goes for me. So I'm just gonna say my entire life, but most of my life, how about that? Most of my life has been people pleasing, codependency, looking out there, looking to you, looking to everybody else, so I could feel okay. Then I hear these descriptions of God, creator, universe, all this thing out there. And the blame, it's either the responsibility goes to God or the blame goes to something else. Where am I? Where are you in the equation? Where's my responsibility? I'm not a victim on this planet. I chose to be here. I believe that. I feel that in my bones. It's truth for me. Then how is it something external from me? Good morning, everybody. I can see there's a bunch of people here. Yes, so who gets the credit then? Hi, Sadie. I'm reading a book right now, and the main character, her name is Sadie. Yeah, so this has been a recycled question. Someone pointed that out to me one time. Like, you kind of cycle through this, and I'm like, I sure do. When I'm struggling, or when I'm trying to figure something out, or I'm way up here is really what it is. Because when I'm here, then, it's all good. It's all okay. I lived most of my life seeking everything outside of me. And so that existential question comes back around. What is God? Who is God? Is it something outside of me? that's where that comes from. And it took me a lot of years to stop playing victim. A lot of years. And so when I think of something that's externally, I'm like this puppet that's everything's all predetermined for me. Then what's the point? What's the point? Why be here at all then? And I'm not suicidal. That's not the point of any of this. But that last video, it was for those of you that are just hearing this, it was analytical suicidal ideation. And it's people who ponder this very question. I pray, I meditate, I do all those things. I know there's something higher. We talk about like Christ consciousness and this higher consciousness. I believe in all that. What doesn't work for me is that it's something external from me. If anybody's familiar with Neville Goddard, we are God. Now, I say that relatively. Just hear me out. When I hear that, I'm like, well, what does that mean? Am I the puppet master? No. That means if I take a bowl and I take water out of the ocean is still there, and this is still ocean water. It doesn't change. It's just a smaller portion of the big thing. And that's how I see it. I'm a piece of, I'm a part of, I'm a consciousness of the divine, having an experience here in this human form. And when I remember that, I'm cruising. And then when I get to this place of like, God, it's just a lot of freaking work. So what happens then when we stop doing the work of the evolution and growing and evolving and self-help? Where do we stop? Where do we stop making ourselves the project and start embodying what we're here to be and do? Hi, Tyler. I did self-help, years and years and years of self-help, years and years and years of coaching, years and years and years of going to seminars, searching for that magical answer. And then one day I get this message: you need to stop searching and start teaching and sharing. Underneath all this, if I'm giving all the credit to God, then I'm not worthy. I'm a worthless, pitiful human being. And that is not true. And I've heard people say that. I'm just a pitiful human being. I'm not a fucking pitiful human being. I'm a human being here to own who I am, own my own chutzpah, and show up here on the planet to be the best I can be. But if I'm giving it all away, giving all the credit to something else, then where do I fit? Where do you fit? It's God's will. That's one of the things I hear a lot. It's God's will. When I hear that, I think, oh, like it's just a bypass. I take no responsibility for creating whatever that was or participating in it. It's God's will. Bypass it. You see the bypass? Spiritual, emotional bypassing. Where's the role? Where's your role in that? Where's my role in that? Where's my responsibility in that? Doesn't mean there's not. I believe there's a higher power. It's a part of me, and I connect to that. It's part of our original blueprint. We were all originally knowing in our soul that we were here, connected directly. We didn't have to go through anyone. We didn't have some book telling us what to do. We knew how to be connected, and we knew how to live cleanly. And then we had a lot of interference and a lot of things that control. So being a sovereign, whole, complete human being, it's not something external. What do you got? How's this landing for you? The rain came yesterday morning, and there was this just place of, I've been watching, it's crunchy. We go out walking, it's crunchy. But I didn't know the rain was coming. Every time I'd wake up in the night, I'm seeing lightning and hearing thunder, and we had this just pretty good downpour. But in the meantime, the trees are just drooping and turning yellow and losing their leaves. The water comes, the rain comes. It's still a tree. Now it's receiving. It never not trusts. It's just now receiving the rain. So that analogy of, that's us. Trusting, always trusting. We don't always, because we have this that gets in the way. But learning how to trust. When I'm aligned, when I'm resonating, when I'm in the frequency of those things that I'm creating, then it comes. It's because I've recycled this question, I don't have a complete answer. I just know what works for me. And I know what doesn't work for me. And having something that I'm praying to that's outside of me no longer works. It used to. But that made anything outside of me could be a god. Do you see the point? Do you see that? If it's all out there and everything else gets the credit, then I can just show up and do anything and be any way. And it doesn't really matter. How do you show up in the world? Where do I go with that? Are you always looking outside of yourself for the answer and the evidence? Or do you trust that what you're creating from your insides out is going to present itself? A lot of this comes from me from poverty thinking, poverty consciousness. I'm doing the work. I'm doing all the things. If I just resonate in the right way, you see all the headly stuff? If I just resonate in the right frequency, and if I just do the right things, then it's all going to arrive. And I'm looking around for all the evidence, and it still hasn't arrived because I'm completely attached to how it's supposed to show up. And I'm grasping. And every time I'm grasping, I'm actually pushing it away. And I'm coming from a place of desperation. Instead of trusting that the divine timing of things, when I'm embodying abundance, expansion, spaciousness, without holding on to how it's supposed to come, then I allow room to receive. Seems like a paradox. But I did that, and I would be mad. Mad, because I'm like, I'm doing all the work, I'm doing all the things, and I keep showing up, and I keep vibrating in the right way, and I keep saying all the right things, and I keep, but I'm not embodying any of that. It's just got a lot of good words and a lot of good ideas, and think I'm doing it. Does that make sense? I think I'm doing it. When I'm actually in it, I can feel it, and I'm embodying it. And I'm open. Instead of chasing. I'm not waiting, I'm expecting. Do you see that? There's a place of sovereignty in that, instead of going begging God to deliver. 911 prayers. All that is also resistance. So I do pray. I meditate every day. And my prayers are thank you. Thank you as if it's already done. Bible says so. I'm not well versed or studied in the Bible, but I know there are verses in there that tell you, ask and you shall receive. How about if I just say thank you for it's already done? And believe it is so. And maybe I don't have the evidence right now. That doesn't mean that it's not coming. But the minute I try to figure out the how, I push it away. Do in it's a corpse. I don't know what that means. So where do you give your power away? To take the God word out of it. Where do you give your power away? Do we give it to, what do we give it to? Astrology. We look at our horoscopes. Human design. Anybody familiar with human design? Traumas. Where do we give our power to? Where do we keep leaking it out? All those things will give us information. Doesn't make us who we are. It's just information. There was a moment I had a call with a coach about growing the business. And I had this call, and I had set up another call. And then I hung up the phone after that first call, and everything in me was like, you just need to get quiet with yourself and stop looking outside. That's the pattern, right? I keep looking outside. Maybe this coach has my answer. Maybe that coach has my answer. Maybe this person has my answer. Maybe someone else does. And I hung up that phone, and I was like, you just need to get quiet with yourself. So that I can hear my own alignment and my own direction about where I'm going or what I'm doing. What's aligned for me? And so I canceled it. I canceled the next appointment. Then I made that my project. Okay, I'm quiet now. I had to laugh. I just had to laugh at myself. Okay, I'm all quiet now. I'm quiet. I'm being quiet. I'm sitting here being quiet. Where's my inspiration? Where's the guidance? Where's my next step? I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. The next thing. I'm making the next thing. I'm making myself. The next thing that I'm guided to do is be quiet. I'm making that my project. What do we do about a grown man and a grown woman peeing pants, calling names, fighting for space, repeating things that were never said? Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. There's a whole trauma, big trauma stuff. So it comes for full circle. Where do you give credit? Do you give yourself credit for the things that you've done? Do you give yourself credit for the changes that you made and the willingness it took for you to make the changes? Do you take any of that credit, or does that all belong to something outside of you? I have worked my ass off to have boundaries, to create some self-love, to know who I am today. And I'm going to take that and go, oh, that's all something out there that did it for me. No, hell no. Not from a place of arrogance. This is not arrogance. It's not, oh, I'm so much better. It's not like that. It's, I have worked my ass off to make specific, huge changes in myself today to even be able to sit here and have this conversation with you. And I was still a little nervous about it. That's revealing a deep part of me and a deep question that I've asked for many, many years. But I take full credit for being able to create boundaries, for learning how to love myself, for taking care of the inner child that lives inside of me. That doesn't mean I don't give something else credit, but it's not externally. It's not outside of me. Thank you, Felicia. But for, oh, I don't know, almost 60 years, there's still places that shows up. Like that coaching call, and I hung up and I'm like, what are you doing? I've spent thousands of dollars on coaching, seminars, looking for you to tell me my answer. It's ridiculous when I hear it out loud. I'm like, it's never worked. I gleaned some things from that. I've grown a lot through that. But the bottom line is, it's an inside job. It's you getting good with you. And it takes some serious courage. Can you hear my cats are outside the door? I have kittens, they're outside the door. They're like, let us in. Oh, I got stickers from my cat. So yeah, do your feet, your lips, and your energy match? That's where we get to. That's the place we get to. We've always talked about our feet and our lips matching. Your words and your actions must match. But it's all about the energy too. All three of those things have to be aligned. If they're not aligned, then I'm going to keep looking outside myself. And that doesn't mean that other people don't help us. I can hear a lot of really amazing things, but that doesn't, unless I'm willing to implement the tools I'm given, just words. I did a lot of lip service in my life. And I desperately meant it when I said it, but I had no idea how to actually implement it and put it in place until I did. And it took a lot of guts and a lot of courage and a lot of someone, can you please just hold my hand for a minute? Can you just please be here and help me? I'll call my sponsor. I've had to fire clients who were out of line when I was doing massage. And I'll call them first. I don't want to. Oh my God, they're not going to like me. They don't like me anyway. They don't like themselves. How are they going to like me? And they're being inappropriate. And then I would take the action. And it's in that taking the action that helps us get aligned. It also helps rewire the nervous system. A we take those actions and break the patterns of being the people pleaser or being the codependent, being the one that feels like everybody else has it, got it together. But I didn't. So where are you in that equation? Can you both get the credit? If you call it God, universe, creator, I like creator, that works for me. It's all inclusive. Spirit, can you both get the credit? Because I have to show up in my life and participate. I have to do that. You have to do that. No one else can do that for you. Can they give you directions? Yes. If the directions don't align for you, don't do it. There's a whole other conversation, because if you're acting out of trauma, it's going to be a whole other thing. But if you can feel it when it resonates for you, you know it's the action for you to take. We call it sometimes God with skin. Sometimes we hear those things from other people. Yes, show up for yourself. It's a question that it just keeps coming back. So that's where the conversation came today. Was it someone shared that video, and then I was like, well, this is fascinating, and I went right down that rabbit hole. And I'm like, here I am again, asking the question. And I keep showing up. And all y'all keep showing up here with me. There's a divine order, a divine orchestration. I believe that. But there's not something out there controlling me. We all have free will. So if I have free will, then I get to make my choices. Are my choices aligned? Are they aligned with the highest and greatest good? If it's aligned for you, it's going to flow. If it's not aligned, you're going to feel it in your body and have some resistance to it. That's the connection for me. That's the connection to divinity. But it's not something external. And that's the point of all this, I think. That's what it feels like to me. Like the point of all of this is there's no God out there. There's no creator out there. I am a part of that. Which means we all have the credit. We all have to show up and do it. We all have to do our own. And there's this place of surrendering to what is so that allows us to open up a space to receive what we're aligned with. In a context of I am creating my life, I just have to look at my life. Look at the people showing up in my life. They all hold a mirror for us. Sometimes it's how much we've grown. Sometimes it's where I'm at. And sometimes it's what I don't want to do. I don't want to be like that. The true divine alignment as one true flow. Yes, exactly right. This is a practice. It's a practice to learn to listen, to feel, to know what it feels like for you. What does your intuition sound like? What does it feel like? How do you know it's your intuition? It's all my voice in my head. It's rarely something outside of me, a voice outside of me. When am I meeting my soulmate in person? Ooh. Is this a romantic soulmate? I feel like you already have. I feel like you've already met him. I say him, but them. I'll say them. I'll just make it neutral. So all of this is a practice. When you're aligned, that's a great question. When am I meeting my soulmate in person? When you're aligned in you, you can't not meet them. They're coming. You're coming. You're going to meet. But you have to be the person that, how to say that? You have to be the person that you are choosing to be in order to attract the person that you want to have in your life or desire to have in your life. If you're looking and chasing and desperate, you won't have it. They might even be there. They might be in your periphery, but they won't come in because there's no room. It's just, when I'm seeking and searching, it's the same with money. When I'm chasing money and I'm desperate for money and I'm going after money and I want some money and I'm trying to get money and I'm trying to convince you should give me money. It's all the way out there. I'm pushing it all away. It's the same with relationships. It's the same with relationship. It's all relationship. So if you can consider that it's all relationship, whether it's a physical relationship with a person or money is energy, it's all energy and relationships. So how am I in relationship with that? What's my relationship to people and to myself? What are you bringing to the table? Jesus is amazing. As a person that's wanting that relationship, what are you bringing to the table? What are you offering the relationship? Be who you want to be, and that person will show up. Let's see. I'm just listening. Where else to go with that? I hope, because I'm the CEO of my company. Good. So maybe we're not here to just sit around waiting for things to be done. We have to show up in our life. Be the best human being that you came here to be. Live your life in alignment with what's true for you. And it's all about participating. The freedom, the freedom to be here and be human comes when we stop looking and searching and trying to find the answers outside of us. And that's our sovereignty. So we can stand here and be good with ourselves and live our life present, embodying, trusting, and in faith. And then watch what shows up. Or what's showing up. God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. If you like the conversation, there's lots more. I have lots more videos. Just you can check out the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications. I'm usually here at 10 o'clock Central Time. Today I had to be early because I'm heading off to a wedding this afternoon. So have a fabulous weekend. I appreciate you all being here, and I will see you next week. Namaste.